We are today in a city called Areia Branca, which in Portuguese means white sand. We left Natal, I believe, a few days ago. We drove 4 hours, and from Natal we came here, which is a little town. It's a very, very little beach town. I would say it's even more like a big village, because you might even hear during the recording, there is this neighbor here that has even roosters, hens, sheep, everything. So some mornings we wake up by the roosters of the neighbor, which is nice. We wanted to do this also as a different experience, to not just be in a city, you know, or like a big beach town. Very, very little laid back environment. So we also experience this kind of lifestyle in very smaller cities as well. Another thing that is very, very interesting, as you will see, I'm going to show around, is our Airbnb. Our Airbnb is called Casa Verde. Casa Verde means greenhouse. And the owner has been living in Areia Branca for, I think, almost 30 years, I think. But he used to have a pizzeria for 20 years, and then he bought this house, and now he has Airbnb. He lives in one unit in the beginning, and then there's 2 other units, large bedroom and a huge bathroom each unit has. He rents this, and this is, I think, what he does during his retirement, I would say, because he is not working. So now we just left the house. We're just gonna show you the beach and see how close the house is to the beach. It's like maybe 1 block. By car it's even 1 minute, not even.
30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds. So that's it. Today the tide is actually very high. I'm gonna actually go outside just to show a bit. I hope that the wind is not too strong, because I don't have the protection for the microphone. But basically, up until this part yesterday was dry. And there is, I think, a dog. Oh my god, there is a colony of you guys. Hello. The assembly. Neighborhood meeting. There is a restaurant also here. There is another restaurant here. And at the end of the street, there is a hotel as well that people can stay at. We wanted to actually stay with the locals, so it's a different experience. We like that. Oh, I think the boss is just going to join the meeting. Okay, and now we're gonna go back to show you the rest.
So these are all pools for salt. This is a private company that works like here in Areia Branca. And then what works is like from this side here, the water comes from the sea. So the water goes passing through different pools, and then the water starts getting like more dense until the end, when there isn't even more water anymore. It's just the salt that is left, and then they collect, and then they start doing the mountains that you see in the end of the film. Then you have the mountains of salt, and actually we're gonna go see them this afternoon inside of the company actually that does the salt.
Okay, another interesting thing I wanted to talk about regarding Areia Branca is a lot of industries that you have here. For example, this building behind me, I'm not sure if you can see there, like in front of this building, there are wells for oil. And then way in the distance, when I fly the drone, I'll try to show you, there are so many windmills also for the wind energy. So this is another industry that is helping the economy of the city. And behind these little trees, I'm gonna fly the drone and I'll show you, there are the pools, little pools that Mariana talked about, that they all hold different concentration of salt from the seawater that comes to the first pool. These are all man-made pools. So the water from the sea comes to the first one, then they pump it to the second one, then the next one. By the time it gets to the last, it's very, very dense, and the concentration of salt is very high. So these are the main industries that in the city they help the economy. To give you an idea, the whole city has only 2 gas stations, so it's not a big city. But these are the fields that help the economy: energy, salt production, and the beach also, and tourism to some extent, which we will also show you later. The salt production, we are really hoping that we can go there with our host, that he knows the people, so we can show you much more about the salt production as well. All right, we came back from the city, and as our lovely host does every day, this is the breakfast exactly at the time that we asked him to be ready. So as I mentioned, that I'm gonna show you, and also at the end I'm gonna tell you the price as well. There is always a plate of fruit, and then the main dish, there is coffee and the juice, sugar, and dried milk that is normal here also in Brazil, and always a beautiful set of flowers, napkins, and everything else. There is this cheese also. It is not like the cream cheese that we have in North America, it's completely different. But all of this he does for one couple, for both of us, Mariana and I. We pay 30 reais. 30 Brazilian reais. It's almost, in US dollars, it's like $6 for 2 people, all of this breakfast. So this place is kind of like the parking lot for old boats. As you can see, they're all almost at the end of their life. This one in particular is huge, but the other ones over there, they are, I think, for the fishermen. There are some other people also, like this gentleman here, that are trying to fish. Our Airbnb host was actually explaining for us that at some point they would have a huge net, and all of these fishermen together, they would fish to a point that they would take all the fish that was there. But then they made it illegal. They said, no, you can't do that because then you're going to kill the whole population of the fish. So it's more control. Another thing that they really try to catch is tuna. And he was explaining to us that the tuna, they catch it, and the best quality of the tuna they actually export it, and the tuna that doesn't have quality as good, they keep it for the locals or for the consumption in Brazil itself. This I believe is for the coast guard because it says it's a military area, so I'm not gonna really film that much. And this one is the main church of the city, the biggest, and I assume the oldest as well. And right behind it also there is like a square that families with kids and everything else, they come and they gather at night when the sun is out and it's a bit cooler to go and hang out. More boats. This one, as you can see, I think it is for the Coast Guard. So this is where you go and get on a ferry. The ferries come and park here at the end of this street, which is another one of the main streets of the city, and you go down here, just get on the ferry, which is something that tomorrow we might be doing if the weather is good. We're gonna go very quickly inside the church also, just to see, because I think there is a mass going on, so we don't want to bother anybody and be typical tourists. So we're gonna try to behave and just show you inside the church, the design and everything else. This is the square behind the church also that people come and they hang out. Usually it's too early because the sun, it's usually after the sunset that they come, so It's a bit empty, but as you can see, some people are already hanging out, waiting for the rest of the family. So as we went around the church and we came back to where we started, I see more ferries arriving with the cars getting out. There's another one in the back waiting for his turn, and people also lined up here to get on the next ferry. Oh, and here too, it's another thing that's almost like the same thing we saw in Recife, Marco Zero, which is the point zero, where everything I think starts in the city from this point. In front of the church also it has this, which is like a wheel for a ship, and even the shape of the design of the church, it's as if it's a ship on the tip. As we're walking around, our Airbnb host also is explaining a lot of things to us, so we can get a little bit more information. Since he is a local, he knows much better than us what's going on. So this is the Marco Zero and all the other info that comes with it. The area of the municipality, the altitude, latitude, longitude, everything. And then you have a little map here too. Areia Branca, Rio Grande, Norte, Porto do Mangue, Serra do Mel, Mossoró, and Grosso. Grosso is the little town that is on the other side behind the green space that you see here, which you have to take the ferry to go to. So that could be tomorrow. Another look at the church again. Okay, we just entered a place that is not a factory basically, but the place that they process the salt, and those little pools that we talked to you about, they all come here and then they end up in these mountains of salt. It's amazing, my god, even talking I feel like my lips, they're salty. And we are here at the time of sunset, which is beautiful. But this is the whole process, the whole operation of manufacturing the salt from the water that comes from the sea, and then they go to different pools and they end up here for the final part that they just process. I don't have the cover for the microphone and it's a little bit windy, so apologies for that if the sound is not perfect, but I'm hoping that it's not as windy that we need to put the protection. So we came in from the main entrance, we walked a little bit by the pools, and now we are closer and closer to the mountain of salt. Even the ground, you can see it's salty and it's like it's full of salt. And the water, the last pool, they call it actually the pink pool, because apparently the color of the water is a little bit pinkish because of the high concentration of salt in the water. So that's another thing. Another interesting topic I wanted to talk to you about was when we were in Canada, I used to work in a company, and this is years ago when I was young, you know, and it was at the end of one of the main boulevards in Montreal. And in winter in Montreal it snows so much that you have to always remove the snow, because otherwise the streets are gonna all freeze and everything is gonna just get destroyed. So they would take the snow away and they would dump it at the end of that boulevard that we had, which would look exactly like this. At the end of winter, you would have mountains of snow just like piled up, and it would sometimes take until June or July for the whole mountain to just disappear because it was so much. And now it's like I'm walking here, it's reminding me of that place. That place was not as nice because every time you would go there you would probably freeze. Here it's much more comfortable to walk, especially with this beautiful sunset. And my god, the size of these salt mountains, it's huge. Wow. I'm not sure if we can actually climb. I think we can and we will if they don't mind and they don't say anything, I mean from the company, that they are producing the salt. But so far nobody said anything. We even saw a security guard at the door. He didn't say anything. So because it's a small city, it's very, very friendly, the approach. And I mean, who's gonna come and like steal salt? It's very nice. Oh, okay, so this you have to be careful when you step because it might just go down under your steps. So you have to make sure that you step slowly. You go up, and oh my god, it's all crystals of salt, right?
Yeah, so just pay attention because it's all crystals.
Yeah. Wow. You see?
Yeah, so if you fall, it can hurt.
Oh, yeah, they're sharp. So you have to be very careful not to fall. And my god. If anybody would tell me that one day I would be in this part of the world climbing a mountain of salt, I would have laughed at them, honestly. But as I always say, this is why we travel. That's it for our video of Areia Branca. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and we will see you next time.